Hey guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. In the previous tutorial, I discussed how we perform the data-driven testing by using the Selenium Webdriver with the TestNG, where I have written a test. So this is the Magento application login test, and we are running this test with multiple set of users. Users I put in the my data provider class under the data provider, right? These are the user credential. So first, this is the username, which user we want to log in. This is the password. And after the login, we need to verify this name, which will reflect on the UI. So these are the three data I am passing. And if I go in the Magento login, you can see retrieving the data by using the data provider. This is the class name I pass here. And then first data is user, second is the password, and third is username. In the test, this is the login method. We're passing the username and password to log in the application. And after login, I am verifying the username into the application, right? So this is the test which I run with multiple set of data with multiple users details which are available under the data providers. If we can increase more data here, add more number of rows. So in that case, it will be run with that set of data also. Now, in this tutorial, I am going to show and discuss how we fetch these data, which data I am putting here from the Excel file, from external files, we can pull and read. So for this, first of all, because if we want to read the data from Excel sheet, so we need to add the dependency in our pom.xml file, that is Apache PY dependency. This dependency we need to include org Apache PY. Dependency I added here. Now next we need to maintain the test data. All these data we need to put in Excel file. So let's put in Excel file. So I have created here one test data folder. In this test data folders, I created here data files. Let's see the file. Test data file. So this is my file where I have already put all the data. First column is name, second is password, third column is username. So I will read these data from the Excel files and then use in our test script for the login. Now, data is available here. So if we want to read the data from this Excel sheet, then we need to write some Java code which will help to read the data from Excel sheet. As we discussed, we need to first include the Apache PY. Once this is added, we need to write some code with the help of this Apache PY library to read the data from Excel sheet. So I have already written here the code so that we can save the time. So I have added one Excel utils class. So first of all, these XSS workbook sheet, two variable I created. This is the for workbook. This is the for sheet object. Now, I created here one constructor Excel util where I can pass the file name as well as the relative path. In this case, test data folders, this is my relative path which are available under my project. If you see here, directly this is available under project test data. So this path I need to pass here. First argument need to pass a file name. So file name in this case, my file name is data file. So when we are creating the object, in that case, we need to pass the file name as well as the relative path. So in that case, it will create an object of the workbook as well as the sheet name, right? Next method, two methods I created here, which will help to retrieve the number of rows from the sheet. Like if I talk about here, how many number of rows are available in this data. So it gives us the number of rows, and second method gives us the number of columns. Then I have a method here, retrieve the test data, where I will pass the seat name. This is the seat name, like user details seat name is. So I will pass the seat name here. So it will read the data, right? If data is blank, then it will return null. Otherwise, we can get the row number, column number by using these two methods. Create the object of two-dimensional array like this. So it object based on the number of rows and columns, we created two-dimensional array of object. Then iterating the loop. One is the for row number, second is running the loop column wise. So reading all this data and then storing the data in this object. Like here you can see data ij value storing. If any cell value is null, then adding the blank. Similar type, if row value is null, then adding the blank. This method basically in the cell, right? We have different type like numeric, strings. So for this, I created one method here. So I will call this get cell method. So if that is the string type, then it will get the value by using the get string cell value. If this is the numeric value, then this method will invoke based on the cell type. So cell type I am capturing from here, from the object of cell like this. Okay. Now, this is the method which will help us to read the data from Excel sheet. Let's see how we use this method to read the data in Excel sheet. Now, our Excel util is ready to read the data from the data file Excel sheet. Let's see how we use this class. So I have here in the data provider class, I created here one data providers. This is the test data Excel sheet name I given. Get data Excel. This is the method name. It return two-dimensional object like we are returning here. Now, first created the object of the Excel util where passing the Excel name. Excel name I given this one. This is the file name. Second, we need to pass here test data. This is the folder name, that is relative path. This one, test data. Now, I'm going to create here two-dimensional array object, means how many data we need to retrieve. So I'm going to create object. So this object I created by reading the row numbers as well as the column numbers. So based on the row and column of this data, right, I created one Excel sheet. I created the object. Now, this method read the data from Excel sheet and store in this object. So if you go here, you can see this is returning the data, and this data is two-dimensional object. Means we are reading the data in the same format in which format we need in the data provider. Okay, so store in this object. Now return this object, so it will return the two-dimensional object of array. Now, I created here one test method where using the test data Excel, right? Let's run and you will see it will read all the data. So you will see the output, user, first value, password, second column value, and username, third column value of each data. So let's run this. Now you can see the values I'm getting from here, and this test is executed. These are the value which passed, right, as a parameters. Now let's apply this data provider on login test. So let's move to our test Magento. I'm going to create one another test. This is the test data, and this is the test login with Excel data. I'm giving the name. So this username, password, and user, password, and username, this is the same parameters. Nothing I am going to change. Only I am going to change the data provider name, because parameters, similar parameters we need here. So let's, what is the data provider name? So this is the data, test data Excel. This is the data provider name. Let's apply this data provider here. Okay. Now I added here the test data, Excel data provider. So it will get the data from this data providers. Now let me run the test. It will run with all the set of data. Running the test. Here you can see the test run with all 8 set of data, pass 6 and failure 0. If I go here, you will see it's executed. Okay, so one feature I added in this reader file, Excel util file, if we want to run only one test data, right, just add a blank line here, right? So it will run only before it will run all the data before we added the blank line. So in this case, it will run only one test data. So let me run the test again, and you will see it will run only for one data. Yeah, executed only one test data. You can see and pass. Result you can see in the TestNG runner section. You can see only one. So we can just add a blank line. So it will skip the remaining, not skip, it will not take care and execute the remaining after the blank. Okay, so it will very helpful when we have written the data-driven concept, reading the data from Excel sheet. So in that case, we can add a blank line during the debugging the test script. And if we want to run and check any particular data, so just move that data on the top, first row, add the blank line. So in that case, it will run only one data. Hope this will be helpful to understand how we perform the data-driven testing by using the data from Excel sheet. And if you like the tutorial, click on the like button, subscribe the channel and click on the bell icon so that you can get latest videos notification, and also leave a comment if you have any query. So this code base you can see, you can get under my repository. I have added the link into the description. You can go and download the code. Let's meet in the next tutorial. Thanks for watching the video.